Well, it's football time in college football, and we're back with another episode. Going to be doing some picks for this upcoming week, and hopefully, we're not as far off as we were last week. It's going to be there's some interesting games this weekend coming up, and some good ones to watch. And I think we're going to get into it. And as usual, I am joined with my co-hosts Jaden and Cody,
Yeah.
as he
Yeah.
likes to
Mhm.
sign off, Cody.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
are y'all over the last week's games yet?
I don't know what you're talking about, Dustin.
Oh, so you're saying you are then? You're saying you're over it? You,
I
you
don't know what you're meaning. I'm not quite sure I know what you're referring to.
you're not sure that you're over it? Is what you're trying to tell me?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. That's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
you're just putting it out of your head. Is what you're saying? All of last
We
week's games, especially
we
that
haven't
one
even played
game.
Florida yet.
Oh, is that what it is? That game
We
never
play them
happened.
next year.
Okay,
I don't remember anything that happened.
you just wipe it out of your memories. That's the way to do it, I guess. Wish I could be like you guys. I can't, unfortunately.
Well, live and forget, I guess. No one says that,
You
but I
can't
do.
be.
All
You
right.
can't be like that.
So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start off with the 12 o'clock game, and that will be number 2 Michigan versus Rutgers.
I
Rutgers.
mean, I'm picking Michigan, but this is Big Ten play, so it'll be interesting to see Michigan's first Big Ten conference game.
They're both 3 and
You
0.
know, I think the Rutgers are doing well. Obviously not as good as Michigan is doing or could do, but they've had three pretty good wins against I think Northwestern, Temple, and like
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. Yeah. So I mean they've got a legitimate track for bowl eligibility.
Yeah,
They could easily get in the bowl.
they put some pretty decent yards up. They've had 346 yards in I guess the last game or season. I think season wise they had 363 yards, 135 yards passing, 210 yards rushing. So a little bit better on the rushing than Michigan is, but not as good on the passing as Michigan is. So it should be an interesting game. Yeah, either way.
I actually
Yeah,
believe this is a pretty fair spread, 24 points. I actually think it's spot on,
Yeah,
is
I
what my
think so
honest
24
too.
opinion.
points.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
hmm
Yeah.
I think the actual prediction spread is the most accurate I have seen so far.
yeah, I think so too. It is Michigan. We know how they're handling the ball this year. They've been rotating their people in and out. They've got the depth um, that they continue to try to build. The one thing that they need to make sure they work on is not throwing those interceptions. That they've had problems with that. They can, deal with that situation. They'll be fine. Now they are predicted to win 85% to a measly 15% on the Rutgers side, but
Mm.
it could be a close game.
I mean,
It could.
you can't deny the fact that even though JJ McCarthy's got like three interceptions, he's also thrown for like 700 yards in three games,
I mean,
which is, I
it
mean,
is
that's
crazy.
300 something yards a game. So, I
So,
mean, that's pretty intense.
I mean, I think they're going to do just fine. But it could be a close game, especially if Rutgers can keep the passing down from Michigan and run the ball pretty well against them. So I think Michigan's got this.
Yeah, I do as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm trying to write these down as we go. I'm gonna try to. We'll say, are we going to even try to deal with the scores? Because I mean, we were way off on all these so far. I'm just going to pick
I
the team.
mean, yeah, we can just pick this week or forever and
Yeah.
always on.
Yeah.
We're far off.
I mean, you can write
I
down the
mean,
team
I've
we
been
picked, though.
close a couple times, but sometimes you're just completely off, and it's like I just can't care
I
about
could
the
never bet on
scores, you know?
scores, man.
No,
I could never do that.
man, especially college football, it's so off.
Like we thought the Mississippi State and LSU game was going to be close, and it was a blowout. So
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So
thought the Alabama game wasn't going to be close. And
yeah,
it
it
was
was
very
was
close.
surprisingly close. So let's just say I'm just gonna put down. We all picked Michigan on this one. It's gonna be on the BTN network, or the Big
Yep.
Ten network at 12. So if you want to watch that game, that's where you can tune in at on Saturday. Now moving on to another 12 o'clock game on ABC is Florida State versus Clemson. Florida
I believe this
didn't.
is going to be a great game.
Yeah, Florida didn't
Absolutely.
show up on the last game, so this could be pretty good. Who's predicted? Yeah, it's
I think
it's
Go ahead.
Florida State 57.2, so they're predicting it pretty right down
Yeah,
the middle.
they have only 2-point spread.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a
That's
pretty
close.
decent game.
I honestly couldn't say.
I don't. I mean, I want to say it'll be about by a touchdown. I mean, it's possible that it could be like a field goal or two, but I want to say it's by a touchdown. I mean, obviously Clemson, they had a they had a pretty rough start at the
Yeah,
beginning of the season, but I mean, there's no reason that they shouldn't put up a performance against Florida State.
it's true. I mean, they have fixed their issues they had in the first game, and they came out and started dominating these smaller teams. But I don't know. I mean, Florida State's been showing
I'm
phenomenal
I'm look
numbers except for last week.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at the individual player battles here, like who's the better quarterback, who's the better running back, who's the better wide, and just looking at the stats here, I mean the key or the highlighted players was Jordan Travis, I believe is his name.
Mm-hmm.
I hope. Um for FSU, and then Wilson, the wide receiver for FSU, and then Will Shipley is the only Clemson highlighted player for this game,
Yeah.
and he's the running back. So I mean, I
Right.
believe if Florida State can stop the run and just play good defensively, I think they have this game by like a touchdown or so. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a like a?
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I
I
think it's
mean,
gonna be a close game.
Yeah,
I
I'd
mean,
like
I
to
believe
say
it's gonna
it's
be a close
close
game
game.
too. It's just
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson won this. It's in Clemson, so they got the hometown advantage, home stadium. It's supposed to be raining, so that can throw some stuff also. So
hmm,
I mean,
I don't know if I want to go for a safe pick here or I want to go for an upset pick.
yeah, I'm gonna go wild here. I think Clemson, because they're wanting to prove themselves from their first loss of the year. They've been dominating these other schools ever since. I think they come out strong. They'll probably stick to the run game if it's going to be raining pretty heavily. And if they
Yeah.
do, I think that will put a little bit of pressure on Florida State. And they've already allowed 123 yards rushing this year, up compared to Clemson's 98. I mean, it's still close, but I think Florida State could probably pull out something pretty decent here. So, I mean, Clemson could
What do
pull
you
out.
think, Cody?
So I'm gonna go
I,
Clemson.
I'm leaning towards more of a Florida State. I
Okay.
mean, I have no doubt in the abilities of Clemson, and yeah, I just don't see it in my
You know
opinion.
what?
I
Uh,
I know they had a rough time with Duke and stuff like that, but come on, by Duke,
I mean, yeah,
I
but it's also the first game of the season, so
it's true. This is true. This is true. You've got a point there. You've got a point there. But I mean, Florida State had a pretty close game last week.
Yeah.
I don't see them not
So
improving upon their mistakes last week.
Again, it's Boston College. They've had a good defense. Okay, sounds crazy to say. People call me crazy. I'm telling you, Boston College is not that imperative a team. But yeah, Florida State on paper should have blew Boston College out of the water, but
Should have.
Boston College said nah. So I think that both y'all's points are valid, and I actually am going to go for the safe pick here, and I'm going to think I'm going to pick Florida State as well, I guess, due to the
Okay.
fact that I just think since I like the edge Clemson has. Like they got knocked down first of the season. They've kind of built back up, built that courage back up. But I think Florida State has been like coasting. I wouldn't say walking on thin ice or nothing,
Yeah.
but they've been coasting and they've been doing all right for themselves, except for last game, kind of scary for them last game. And I believe that they can hold their own in this game, and it will be a slugfest boxing match, I believe. So I'm going to take Florida State, but yeah, a score. I mean, that's it.
Okay. I mean, that's
I
fair.
agree.
I could see it go either way. So I'm not
I do
saying
too.
if my pick with Clemson, they're going to blow them out or anything. I think there'll be a sneak out win, but
Yeah.
all right. So let's move on to the next game, 12 o'clock also on Fox. Oklahoma, number 16, Oklahoma versus Cincinnati.
Big 12 play here. And these are all conference games this week, I'm pretty sure,
I think,
except for Duke and UConn and
Yeah.
Miami and Temple. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, another conference game here, Big 12 play. Oklahoma and Cincinnati. I'm just gonna. I don't think Cincinnati is necessarily terrible, but they're what 2-1. Oklahoma's
2-1.
3-0.
Yeah.
Oklahoma does have a decent QB. 11 touchdowns. Oh, 11 touchdowns. Oh, that makes sense. So didn't they drop like how many points that one game?
73.
7. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. He has 11 touchdowns.
And then the last
Yeah.
game,
In 3
they dropped
games.
66. So,
Yeah,
905
I think.
passing yards too.
yeah.
And they have a decent. I will say that Cincinnati does have a bit of an edge on the wides and running back area, apparently. But I will say Oklahoma. I'm gonna just go out and get my pick out of the way. I think this is a pretty accurate spread too, 14 points,
Yeah.
to be honest, with the 57.5% chance Oklahoma takes it. I think this is pretty I don't think it's
86.
I don't think it is as accurate as the Michigan spread, but I think Oklahoma by 2 touchdowns is actually pretty fair.
Yeah, I have to agree. Oklahoma's going to win this one. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be rainy a little bit, so they may go to the run game, but Oklahoma has only allowed 80 yards of rushing so far.
That's pretty good.
So their rushing defense is pretty good. So if Cincinnati tries to go to that rushing game, which is what they're been banking on, they may get smacked in the mouth, and that may not be too good for them. So, yeah, I'm going to go Oklahoma.
Sorry.
I think what else? See, what's his name? Dylan Gabriel, I believe is his name for the Oklahoma quarterback. I
Yeah.
think he's averaging 55.7 points per game. He obviously because of that one game mostly, but uh, I think he shows some promise, and I think that even though Cincinnati might be like a rude awakening to their conference games, I think Oklahoma pulls it out still.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I think I want to say a touchdown and a field goal more or less, but I think I'm rooting more towards a closer game. I don't think it'll be completely sold, but I think it'll be a closer game.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the 3:30 slot. We got ABC. It'll be on ABC, mind you. Number 10 Oregon versus number 19 Colorado. The first
And another Pac-12 matchup.
first big game for Colorado.
Yep. First big game for Colorado.
I know last week
And
they
first
had
conference game.
their big rivalry, but this is their big game. I mean, this is
this is the big test.
Yeah, this is the test of how they're going to
Conference
perform.
game. Conference game for both of these teams. I think the spread so far has been pretty accurate. I think Oregon up by 3 scores is I mean, I already told you guys and the last time we spoke, I don't think Colorado wins this game. I
No,
think Oregon takes it, and I do believe it's a fair 3-score spread. I believe that.
I mean Oregon's got Bo Nix up there. He's a good quarterback. He's he's I know Sanders has been getting the praise, but they've been playing a lot of small schools. Although last week they did play a pretty big rivalry for him, but they've not really been tested. Not yet. This will be their big first test, and I mean, yeah, I get it. They won against TCU. That should have been, that was their test or what. No, this is their big test right here. Oregon is their big test. And this will prove whether or not they are a top 25 team. I think Oregon's going to wake them up.
Yeah, yeah, I have to agree. I think this is probably going to be their upset game here.
You
At
think
least Colorado's upset game.
they're going to get
I
upset?
think
Now, this ain't going to be an upset. Oregon's predicted to win this
Favored to win.
93.9%. Yeah.
I mean, looking at the stats, Shadur Sanders put up what? 1,251 yards. I mean, that's more than most anybody I've seen recently.
True.
But I think
But look
I
who they
think
played.
after what yeah, I know. I mean, after what we seen last week with Colorado State going in a double overtime, I think I think Oregon will offer more of a challenge than Colorado State, and I
Yeah,
believe that since we've seen a game with Colorado State being so close, I think that Oregon will push it over that bound.
I do
And
too.
I don't think it'll be 3 touchdowns. I think obviously Mr. Prime himself could probably put up at least as much as is predicted. But I think that obviously the predicted amount for Oregon to be up, what, 21? I think it'll probably be about 2. I don't want to give I want to give Colorado a benefit. And it's I mean, I kind of have to agree with Jaden in a way. I would like to see where Colorado falls. And not to be rude about it, but I just want to see about where their hype ends and how they handle it, honestly. Not just what happens because of it, but how they handle it when and if they do lose.
Yeah.
How they'll rebound from.
Well, I mean, this could be the last week we talk about them because they may drop out of the top 25 right here. And, you know,
Hmm.
it's the
It's
end
possible.
of. Yeah, I mean,
It's
especially if
possible.
they get just blown out. I mean, if they get blown out, then
Absolutely,
they'll
yeah.
drop like a rock.
And of course, it's not like we'll stop monitoring this team.
No,
Like if
no,
they're
we'll
playing
keep up with them, but
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just if they're not in the top 25, it's like, eh. And plus USC, they play them next, so it's not like if Colorado loses this game, it's not like we won't be talking about them again like next week.
that's
So,
true. That's true. I didn't think about that. They are going up against other ranked
oh yeah,
opponents.
the next 3 or so games for Colorado, it's gonna be rough, and it's all
Yeah.
conference play, I believe. So, and I
Absolutely.
think the
And
conference is really important to win
another
over the other
thing that I
games.
forgot to point out, Travis Hunter won't be back.
Yeah.
Nope.
A key player for them won't be back. So, I mean,
3
we're
to
also
4
going to
weeks.
see we're also going to see what damage that puts on his team as
Yeah,
well.
through the biggest part of their season.
Absolutely.
So we all picking Oregon for this one, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Unfortunately.
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 Moving on to the next 3:30 game on Fox. It's number 11 Utah versus number 22 UCLA. And
Huh.
this one I've not really looked into as much, but Utah is predicted 65.9% to win this game.
Again, Pac-12 play, the conference play here, and first conference game for both of them. I don't know, man.
I think this is going to be a close game
I believe it will be good. Yeah.
because UCLA has a good defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
They have
surprised
a
if this would
really
be an
good
upset, to be honest with you.
UCLA has only surrendered 3.9 yards per snap.
Who have they played
So,
though?
They played
um,
NCCU, SDSU, and CCU. Whoever those teams are. Small
I'm gonna pick. You know what?
Coastal
I don't know.
Carolina, San Diego State, and North Carolina Central. And they've put some pretty decent numbers on these teams.
yeah, very good.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pick Utah because I feel like they've had more of a challenge, to be honest.
I mean, Utah did beat Florida.
Of course, it was a weaker Florida then, but then they turned around and beat Baylor.
Yeah,
So, and then of course Weber State's nothing,
and nothing to talk about.
gall about. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick Utah, just for the fact of I think they've been tested more, they've been refined more over the season. And oh man, I'm looking at UCLA now. They almost lost to Coastal Carolina.
yeah.
They barely won that game 27-13. They beat San Diego State and they beat NC Central.
59 to
Blowout of a
7,
game.
yeah.
So I think, yeah, I'm picking Utah. Safe pick, to be honest. Utah is favored to win this game, right? By
About
6 points.
yeah.
I
6 point
think
spread.
I think a touchdown or a field goal is fair, to be honest. I'm gonna pick Utah for this game. Just because I feel like they're more refined.
Yeah, and I always, especially when I see an underdog put some yards on their quarterback Moore's got 615 yards. I want to pick this underdog, but then
I agree
again,
with you.
Utah's like they have been, they've went through the gauntlet a little bit better. They started the season beating Florida, only allowing them 11 points. Coming back, beating Baylor, almost the same situation. I mean, Webb's pretty much not really anybody to talk about. So, I mean, they put 31 points on them. Yeah, they've been tested a little bit better. UCLA's put some good points up there also. Ugh.
They both can score. We know that.
Yeah.
Utah, I believe, also has a good defense.
The defense, points-wise, stats-wise, are almost identical. I mean,
It's gonna be a defense
almost
game.
identical.
Whoever plays the best defense will win this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah, I'm gonna say safe bet Utah, but I wouldn't be surprised this may be an upset.
I agree. I agree.
You know, I have to agree with you, but
Here it comes.
I think I'm gonna lean towards UCLA, and
Okay.
not to disgruntle any of your
What is your
points
problem?
because
Go to Eagles.
you've made good points, and I have to agree, but I don't know. As Jaden said, it's a defense game, and I think just from what I'm looking at in some of these situations, obviously Utah has definitely prevailed in a lot more of these tougher games, but I don't think UCLA has really had an intense enough game to really prove themselves yet. And I think obviously this is going to be
This
the
is
game
their
for that.
game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'd like to see them kind of prevail in a way. So I'd
Fair
like
enough.
obviously I'm not going to say yeah by like 2 touchdowns or something, but I'd like to give them maybe a field goal or
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Fair assessment.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it could be an upset. I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So, I mean, that's not a delusional pick. So, all right, 3:30 on the CBS channel will be number 13 Alabama versus number 15 Ole Miss. So,
Oh, an SEC. Oh man,
first
an SEC matchup.
matchup.
First conference game for both Alabama and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I hate both of these teams, by the way.
Yeah. It
Just
feels
as a
weird having
Tennessee
to
fan,
pick
hate
either
'em.
one of them.
I don't even want to pick Ole Miss because Lane Kiffin. I don't even want to pick Bama because they actually are just not good.
You know, they're
You know,
predicting
no.
Alabama to win this 65.8%. And I'm sorry, I don't agree with that.
What? They're gonna win by 6.5?
I don't think Alabama's going to win this game.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at stats, I mean, Alabama has problems in the quarterback spot.
True. True. I
Ole
forgot.
Miss
Well, they
is
do have Jalen Milroe starter again, but we know that he's inexperienced, is
yeah.
what they say. So
Ole Miss has got, their quarterback Dart almost got, and he's a junior, so he's got a little bit more experience, and he's got 852 yards to his name so far, almost double
Hmm.
what Milroe has.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say it. I don't
I
think
think we're
Alabama
all
wins
gonna
these
agree.
games.
I think we're all gonna agree here, actually, guys.
You're going to
I
say it?
don't think
Y'all agree
Alabama
with
wins
me?
this game.
I think I
Oh,
agree with you because I'm
Uh,
looking at the schedule and Ole Miss has just performed, man.
yeah.
I mean, Mercer is nothing to talk about, but they beat Tulane. I mean, that's crazy. I thought me and Dustin picked Tulane, I think, for this game. Maybe. I don't remember. I don't know. But I
I
remember I
think we
picked
did, yeah,
Tulane.
because I thought the Wave could pull it off, which they almost
They
did.
just,
They did,
they almost did, to be
yeah.
fair, but Ole Miss rose up. They then beat Georgia Tech, and they're
They're-
not crazy good, but they're nothing that's, to
Yes,
mull over either, because we've had our trouble. Tennessee's had their trouble about them in the past on starter games or the second game of the season. We barely beat them. They beat them. I think the spread is Ole Miss the other way around,
I agree.
6.5,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just seeing what Alabama's done,
and their stats is better.
they came out
You know,
strong. Alabama came out strong, 56-7 versus MTSU, but it's
and then
MTSU.
and then they fell off.
Then Texas comes in and just disrespects them. I mean, and then USF, it's USF. You let USF be tied with you going into the half. I mean,
You only won by 2 scores.
yeah,
mm.
that's crazy. Ole Miss has been performing better. I think I have to pick Ole Miss on this one. I have to.
I agree.
Mean,
I'm with you.
they just
You know what? You
perform
know what?
better.
I think switching back to Jalen Milroe says that they're desperate. I think they're clutching at straws here after that South
I
Florida
only
game.
see Alabama winning this
I
game
don't
if their
disagree with
defense
you.
performs and they start running Jalen Milroe a bit more. If they get him more involved in the run game offense, I believe they have a chance of winning. But I agree with both of you, but I believe Ole Miss, just from stats and how their schedules went, how the years went, they have performed. They have outbested, and Alabama has not done that.
No.
So just logically, Ole Miss for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to agree.
All right. Moving on to the next 3:30 game on CBS SN is number 18 Duke versus UConn. I mean, this.
I feel bad for UConn.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they got a nice little husky still picture, and I'm soft to dogs. But I feel bad for Connecticut fans, man. Your team sucks. And that's not even trying to bash you. It's just I'm sorry, man. I do. I feel sad for your team.
Hey, I've
Not
been.
like in a pity.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I said that not like in a bad pity type of way. It's just like I genuinely, for some reason, hope you guys come back or something. I don't know. Like it's weird. I hope you have a good year, but it's not looking too great.
No.
But I'm picking Duke,
Yeah, I think
obviously.
I've already wrote it down. I think we're all gonna pick Duke. I've been saying Duke is looking good this year.
It's
So
actually looking pretty decent.
yeah, and if Cody doesn't pick Duke, that would really throw me off. But I've already wrote it down, so you're gonna have to pick Duke because you'd be crazy not to.
Nah, Connecticut by 21.
Okay. That would be a Cody thing to do. That's for sure. All right, moving on to the next 3:30 game because that one's not even worth talking about anymore. ESPN
Yeah.
2 is number 20 Miami versus Temple.
Huh.
Yeah. Looking at the stats
I mean,
here.
I don't think this is a blowout I don't think it's. I don't know. Miami winning by 23.5. Really?
what they're saying. I mean, the stats don't really disagree with it either.
I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, really? Oh,
The stats are
never
showing.
mind. I've changed my mind.
I
Miami.
mean, that's what I'm
I
thinking.
was looking at their
Didn't-
schedule, and they barely beat Akron. They got rolled over by the Rutgers. I
Yeah.
don't even know who Norfolk State is. They rolled them. Yeah, this is Miami's game. I was trying to give
Yeah.
them the benefit of the doubt, but I can't actually. They're just not good.
Yeah.
So Miami is taking this.
I
Fair
agree.
assessment. Fair
Yeah.
score, I guess. 23.
I agree.
All right, writing this down for Miami.
I don't even think there's much to talk about. I
No.
just think they're good. Miami's good, and
I think
it.
822 yards by Van Dyke is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think
That's pretty nice.
822 touchdowns this game. Pretty good.
The 8
822
touchdowns is pretty good, too.
touchdowns.
Yeah, there would be a mercy rule eventually. I don't think
Yeah.
they'd let the game go on that much.
All right, moving on to the next spot, which is the is it 4:00 on the SEC
Ugh.
network?
This game,
Tennessee versus UTSA.
we might have a chance. We might win.
I'm sorry, but if we lose to UTSA, I don't know if I could continue watching the games for the rest of the season.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, but I wouldn't put it past us. I really wouldn't at this point. I mean, we shouldn't. Have a problem with them. But here's the thing. Going into the season, this should have been a 99.9% chance that we would win this. It's only an 86.3% chance right now that we'll beat UTSA. That is saying
UTSA
a
last
lot.
year had one of the best offenses in the nation. They were 15th in the nation for best offenses last year.
And
UTSA
Well, they
was
just
15th in best offense.
but they just lost to Army too, though. So
Well, I said offense. I didn't say anything about defense.
so I mean,
Because that's their defense's fault. I mean, I'm picking Tennessee. Let's just be honest. I don't think any of us actually 100% believe we're gonna lose this game. But at this point, anything is possible. I mean,
yeah,
we have
You know-
have an actual problem at quarterback like Alabama, and we have communication issues, and we can't execute fundamental plays. So
yeah,
unless we get it together this week, this is the time you play Nico. But they won't play him unless we're blowing him out of the water. So
yeah. This would be the game where you're like, all right, let's see what our freshman quarterback can do. But right now, with the problems that we have to put our senior quarterback in. Just give him
this is
reps
what-
because he's horrible.
And this is what makes me mad. I've been watching a lot of stuff on Tennessee and everything. Statistically, and it pisses me off to say it, statistically, Joe Milton, statistically, hasn't played bad. But that's when you watch the game, he plays bad. You can just tell it's bad, but somehow the stats somehow disagree. I don't know how that works. You watch him play the game, dude, Joe Milton.
716 yards. I mean, isn't nothing
No,
not
it's not
to talk
awful.
about.
It's not awful. But then we watch him play the game. We're like, dude, he sucks. Get him out of the game. But his stats say otherwise.
It's not just this. It's not just this. You got to look at everything else with him. You got to look at his play clock. His awareness
there's
with
tons
that.
of different issues.
Pocket awareness. There's a lot of problems. If you look at stats, you say, okay, yeah, he's a decent quarterback. He's got a 66.7 completion rating. Yeah, that looks pretty good. But when you start watching him in game, you realize, well, he can't manage the clock. He panics when he's in the pocket. He sees a blitz, he goes into audible mode automatically. He doesn't even challenge the defense. So if whoever the other team is, all they got to do is blitz every single time, or look at the blitz every single time. He's going to choke every single time, and that's what happened in Florida. So I mean, you can look at the stats and say, well, he looks like a pretty decent quarterback. Yeah, but that's only when things are going right for him. When the other team starts challenging, he falls apart.
Well, that's what people don't understand, Dustin.
I know.
Don't rule Milton out. His stats are great.
Yeah.
They don't understand. That's what they
No.
don't.
All right.
I agree with you, and I get it, but I think we all picked Tennessee. I don't
You
think we
know,
actually lose this game.
the sad part is, I almost think that this is going to be a close game.
Well, it's hard to not think that when our first 3 games have almost been like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong for believing in that.
Yeah, you're not.
So, anyway, moving on.
All right. 7 o'clock on ESPN. We're going to be number 12 LSU versus Arkansas. They're both 2-1.
Hmm.
LSU's been on the upswing though. They're predicted 88.5% to win this game with a 17.5 spread.
LSU has won a conference game.
Yeah.
Let me pull up both of the teams here.
And
Look up past games and
BYU just, beat Arkansas.
wow,
But
they
it is
did just lose.
but it is BYU. They've known to beat SEC
They have been
teams.
known to do that. Yeah,
Yep.
they have been known to do. I think they beat us like in the near past.
It wasn't too
Not
long ago. I think I was at that game when that happened. So
I mean, LSU's only challenge they've had was actually Florida State, the opener.
So yeah, this is for me. This is a test for LSU to see how far they've really came back. If they're what people say they are, or they're going to actually do as good as they are. I think Arkansas can give them a run for their money.
I mean, they did like what 41-14 to Mississippi State.
Yeah, I mean it's 41-14. Yeah,
I mean, that's some numbers, honestly.
and they put 72 on to
I
10
mean,
on Graham.
here's
but,
my pick. My pick is that LSU I think is gonna win this game,
yeah,
but I feel like it's actually gonna. I could be wrong because we were wrong about the Mississippi State game, but I feel like Arkansas might actually put up more of a fight than Mississippi State did, just to give Arkansas the benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
Okay, but um, I don't know. I'm just looking at this Kent State game. It's just like, how can you only get 28 points on Kent State, man?
I don't know, but LSU's
But
coach
anyway.
just came out and said that he referred to Arkansas this week as a scary team.
I'm gonna give Arkansas the benefit of the doubt, saying that they will duke with them a bit. They'll punch out a little bit, but I think LSU is gonna win the game.
I think LSU's going to win, but I'll say that this will be the first real test for them since the FSU
I
game.
agree. I think it's BYU, I guess, was a test for Arkansas, but yeah, I'm gonna pick LSU to win this game, but I think it will be a little bit. It will be close to some extent. I don't know. They could blow them out.
Yeah, I pick LSU
LSU by 10.
by 10.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
LSU it is. All right, moving on to another 7 o'clock game on Fox. Number 14 Oregon State versus number 21 Washington State. And this is leaning to Oregon State 65.7 with a 3-point spread.
I believe this is going to be a great game.
I do too.
I don't actually know who wins, to be honest. I'm going to do it. Oh, I'm playing Washington State. I'm going to do it. Upset game for Oregon State. I'm picking Washington State just because I believe they're both pretty balanced. I believe in Washington State's offense.
Yeah.
Oregon State's offense is pretty decent too, but I actually think this might be another defensive game. If Washington State can lock up and throw the rock, be good on offense and defense, and just dominate in that regard, I believe they win with a nice score, like a touchdown or a field goal. Close game. I'm picking it. I'm picking the upset.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
I don't know. I'm looking at. Let's see here.
Washington State beat Wisconsin 31-22.
mean, don't get me wrong. Oregon State has, balled out. Okay, they've
Yeah.
balled out. But, I mean, San Jose and UC Davis ain't nothing.
No,
They
but
also almost, San Diego State, really, 26 points. That's the lowest scoring game they've had so far.
and I'm not going to pretend that I know a lot about either team, but I mean, the last 5 games, they're undefeated right now in the last 5 games. They beat last year Oregon and Florida. Pretty bad Florida game. I mean, it's 30-3. They beat Florida. I don't know if they've lost their quarterback and they're coming up with a new quarterback. Not sure. Like I said, I don't know much about this team. But they came out swinging pretty hard versus SJSU, UCD, and SDSU. I mean, they've pretty much destroyed some teams here.
Also, Washington State has beat Colorado State 50-24. This massive Colorado State team that went double OT into Coach Primetime's Colorado team.
Yeah.
Of course, it was at the start of the season, but Washington State has just been pretty consistent.
Yeah, and the only thing I think the Oregon State's got the better defense, although Washington State's got the better offense. So where did I get? Yeah, I
I
got that right.
I I think Washington State. Actually, I agree with Jaden.
So y'all going Washington State?
Don't get me wrong, it's just Oregon State's quarterback needs to clean up the interceptions, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I
he's-
don't disagree with you. I don't.
He threw 2 last game.
Against who?
I just looked at it and I
SDSU.
don't. Yeah,
Hmm.
San Diego State.
and Washington State last game did not do that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna follow in this one. I think y'all probably right. The Washington pulls this one out.
No, again,
Upset.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this might be a new quarterback for him, and that's what's going on. All right. Moving on to the next game. We are in the 7 o'clock spot still. ESPN Plus or SECN Plus. Number 25, Florida versus Charlotte.
Florida. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I don't even want to talk about this game.
I hope Charlotte wins, but since how it's in the swamp, I know Florida's gonna win.
Well, I mean, since they have all the ref powers, so.
I mean, yeah, they dominate the SEC with their powers of the referee.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are rumors of
Yeah.
investigating SEC referees.
Yeah, I've seen that. They've been popping up, and it's not just because of the Tennessee game, but this year,
No, like the
in
entire
SEC,
SEC.
yeah, it's been bad. So I hope they do. The last refs for that last game need to be fired. They don't need to have a job anymore for what they did. It was pretty blatant. Last 2 games for Tennessee actually pretty blatant. So, all right, not trying to bring that back up again, but
What are you
moving
talking
on.
about, Dustin?
Yeah,
You're bringing up scars, Dustin.
Yeah, I know.
You're pointing out scars.
Moving on. The 7:30 spots. We're in the 7:30 spot now on ESPN2. Number 1, Georgia versus UAB.
I don't know. UAB. I'm just kidding. No. I don't know. Who has UAB played? I'm not okay. This sounds crazy. I know it sounds.
mean, why
dumb
were
to
you even
say,
looking
but
at
I have to
this?
be. I know, dude, but I can't be sure no more. I can't be sure no more, man. I can't.
I don't
Georgia
know,
was
dude.
supposed to ball out on all these teams, and they
They've
I mean, yeah, they dropped 48 on UT Martin and 45 on Ball State, but even then they looked beatable.
yeah, but
And then
it's,
they played South Carolina and looked beatable.
I get that, but it's South Carolina, it's Ball State,
I mean, no, Georgia wins the game, but I'm just saying, like,
it's UT
can
Martin.
Georgia really?
I mean, it's not UL, GASO. Never these teams we never even heard of. Are these even real? Are these real teams? I don't know. This is Georgia
They got a
Southern,
cool dragon.
Louisiana. I mean, come on.
I mean, no, yeah, Georgia wins the game hands down, but
By 42 is what they predict.
Yeah, I would
At
say
this
that's.
point, I can't even be sure.
I don't know if it'll be that bad because Georgia has been underperforming, but they're not going to lose to UAB.
No, I was never saying that.
So can we move on to this game then?
I guess. I'm
All
just
right.
saying.
I didn't think it
I
was going
don't
to be that
know
much
what
of
to
a.
believe no more.
All right, Texas versus Baylor at 7:30 on ABC.
Texas. Moving on.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Baylor sucks.
I would
That's
agree.
fair.
That's fine. Texas is showing some real good season. All right, 7:30 on NBC.
Oh.
A pretty good
Ooh.
matchup, I
Oh.
think. Number 6 Ohio
Ooh.
State versus number 9 Notre Dame.
Tickets as low as $453.
Yeah,
by
this
the
is
way.
a big game.
Wow.
This is a big game right here.
You better be making bank if you want to see this game.
Notre Dame's quarterback has thrown 1,061 yards,
It is in Notre Dame.
or has
That's pretty
1,061
good.
It is in
yards.
Indiana.
Yeah. Ohio State has been underperforming.
I'm picking Notre Dame.
I mean, they did perform better this last game, but the first 2 games they were underperforming. They wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. Notre Dame, on the other hand, has been performing like they should.
I believe Notre Dame has been consistent so far.
Yeah.
I will say Ohio State. I mean, their last game they did ball out, but Notre Dame's been doing that literally all season.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Notre Dame. I believe it will be a close game. I
I
believe the
wanna
spread
say-
is reversed, field goal, maybe even a touchdown.
I want to say overtime.
I mean,
You
that's,
could
that's
be
a
right.
possibility
You
also.
could be right.
Yeah.
I want to say overtime Notre Dame.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'm going to say Notre Dame also. I just think Ohio's not performed the way they should have performed to be even in that top 4 spot that they were. I think where they were top 5 originally, but I mean, now they're at 6. I don't think they deserve to be there. I think it's because their name, Ohio State, that's why they're there. They've played nobody. They've been underperforming. This is their first big matchup, and I really think Notre Dame's been performing like they should. I think it's Notre Dame all day long.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next spot. We got another 7:30 game on CBS. It's Penn State versus Iowa.
Another Big Ten matchup, conference game. First for Iowa,
Yep.
surprisingly, but not the first Big Ten game for Penn State. I mean, yeah, I'm picking Penn State. I mean, that's just I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, they've
Like
have
Drew McNamara, cool, I guess, but I mean Drew Aller, bruh. Come on.
Yeah, I think this one's Penn all day long.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Better
agree.
quarterback, less interceptions, stronger defense. Yeah, it's Penn State. Wow,
I agree.
pen would work here, or pencil, whatever you want to call this thing.
Get it? Penn. Soul.
Ah.
Penn State game.
Oh my gosh! All right,
All right,
number 8.
fire me from the podcast.
He's fired. 8 o'clock, ACCN. We have number 17 North Carolina versus Pitt.
You know, I believe this will also be a close game. Due to the fact that Pittsburgh has always sort of been all right, and Drake May has thrown 4 interceptions the last game.
That's true.
4.
Yes,
Oh my
But Pitt's
God.
also thrown 3.
that is true.
So
That is true.
It's the
They played Minnesota, and no, he threw 2. Sorry, he threw 2 interceptions last game, not 4.
I
He's
was
done
about
4
to
in
say, God, if he was
Sorry,
throwing 4.
I thought that what they have displayed here is last week's performance on these players, but no, it's their overall
Yeah, it's
stats.
just their
I
season.
don't know why. I don't know why I thought that.
891 yards.
Dang, he
In
balled
one-
out. No,
In
yeah,
one
I
game.
saw that and I was like, wait, no, that can't be right. But no, he threw 2 interceptions last game against Minnesota. So I mean,
Soda. Oh.
Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah.
Call that Minnesota. Anyway, Drake May. I mean, he's a great quarterback. I ain't gonna say he's not, but clean up those interceptions, and I think North Carolina wins.
What makes May so versatile? He can get he can get down on the ball and run. I mean, he's got some good running. So I think North Carolina wins this one.
I agree. I think it's going to be a
Yeah.
close game,
I think
but I think
running
North
will be
Carolina can pull it
critical.
out.
Oh,
I
I
think
think so
running should be
too.
critical.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
All
They're
right.
pretty balanced. No, they're pretty balanced on both running and passing.
Yeah. I just think
So
NC. I mean, it is in Pitt, but I think North Carolina will go up there
I agree.
and continue to their.
Prove us wrong, Pittsburgh. Prove us wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Also an ACC conference game.
That's true. That is true.
All these last Serb conference matches up. Match ups. Jeez. Moving on.
All right, 10:30 on Fox. We have number 5 USC versus Arizona State.
USC. All right.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
There's no way we have to talk about this game much longer. No, Cody,
Yeah.
it's not Arizona State. Not even a little bit.
It's 98.1%. I mean, come on.
You didn't even let me speak. No, I'm just kidding.
I knew you was gonna be a joke, but no, there's no way.
Yeah. No. I mean, honestly, I would. I still don't forgive them after last year, but I'd like to see how far South Carolina goes.
This is not South Carolina.
This is USC.
Or it's USC. Why?
This is South
How
California.
many times? How many times are we gonna go over this? I'm dyslexic.
You're not dyslexic. You're just seeing USC and thinking it's University of South Carolina.
But it's not.
It's Scar, bro. You have to say Scar.
Yeah.
I don't like saying. That sounds weird.
All right, moving
Scar?
on.
Okay, yeah, last
10:30.
game.
ESPN last
I will
game
watch
of
this game.
or one of the last games. It's one of the last 2 games.
Washington.
Washington versus California.
Yeah, I'm picking Washington. I'm just picking Washington. They can't. You have Michael Penix Jr. He's only thrown one interception this season. He's actually balling out. California is not bad by no means, but
1,300 yards. I mean, he is balling out. I mean, that's pretty much true.
1,300 yards.
he is playing
Yeah.
better than Shador right now. So
Yeah.
he is
Yeah.
a Heisman runner.
And it's mostly been all air because, I mean, Johnson, their leading rusher, has only got 83 yards of anything. So it has been a total
12
domination
touchdowns.
of.
Not to mention California lost to Auburn this season.
Yeah, that's
Auburn?
true.
And now Auburn isn't necessarily awful either, but
No.
they did lose to Auburn. That's the only game they've lost. But California has played decently well against North Texas and Idaho. But again, they're also North Texas and Idaho.
Yeah.
So the only challenge they had was Auburn, and it was an SEC team, and they couldn't do it. And Washington has literally balled out on every team they've played.
I think-
Boise State.
I think Washington is going to kick some cheese.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I actually think the spread should have been a little bit higher for this game, but yeah, I'm picking Washington.
Don't disagree with you there.
But like 5 touchdowns. I'm just kidding. No, but I think the spread is all right.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it's that
Alright.
big. All right.
21. Yeah.
So we made it through our picks of this coming week. We're not going to go into scores because we're so far off and college
And they
football.
pick
So
wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the
If I was
picks.
going to bet some scores, I might as well bet some money.
You should be betting on these games, Cody.
I'm
Get on
awful at betting.
FanDuel or something.
FanDuel it. We're not sponsored, by the way.
DraftKings.
No, you can make some money. My brother betted on the Florida game, and he got a payout of $88, bro.
Hey, there you go.
I don't know how much you put in, but
$88.
but you can get a lot more money. You can make a lot of money off of it.
Well,
I'm
anyways,
not a gambling man.
I
But
think
it's
that's
not really illegal. Okay, anyway, moving on.
yeah. Moving on. I think that's pretty much going to be it for us. I mean, we're going to keep this under an hour. With the picks, we've pretty. I feel pretty good about our picks this week. Felt pretty good about them
Yeah,
last week too, but But
I
we
think
will
we've
see.
got some solid picks.
Who too?
I think they're all very solid.
So I hope you enjoy this weekend's games. I think there's going to be some good, interesting
This
games.
will be the best week for sure.
Probably
far.
so. Well, at least will be the breaking point for a lot of teams, I feel like.
Yeah.
So,
Colorado, we're looking at you.
exactly. The whole country's looking at you right now.
Yeah.
I think we should be looking at
This is what you
Washington.
wanted.
Look at Washington balling out. We should be looking at them right now.
Yeah, you're right. We should, but no one wants to talk about them.
What is Deion Sanders? So, I mean, what do you expect? Prime time up there.
Yeah, well, that's it.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. Y'all got anything?
Nope.
I'm
No.
guessing that's.
No, we're good.
I was gonna say I didn't think Cody took a minute there. He was thinking. It's he's like a wind up toy. You got to wind him up a little bit before he'll actually say anything.
His brain has to really process what's going on.
Yeah,
I think before I speak.
you do definitely think quite
It's
a bit.
skill most people don't have.
That's true. All right, so we'll catch you when these games are finished, and we'll be recapping what happens at the end of end of these games next week. So I hope y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy some college football, and we'll catch you on the next
I'm rooting for you,
episode.
UConn.
But anyways, I'm Dustin.
Jaden.
And I'm Cody.
And we'll catch you on next episode.